Hey everyone. So today we're going to talk about platform engineering. We're going to explore why getting your code out into the world can sometimes feel less like a straight line and more like you're stuck in a giant, confusing maze. Let's figure out how to turn that maze into a superhighway for our developers.
So let's just start with this question, because I'm willing to bet this is a feeling many of you know all too well. We have all this incredible power in the cloud, so why does shipping even a simple feature sometimes feel like you're just running in circles, completely lost?
You know, that feeling of being lost? That is the developer's cloud maze. Let's really dive in and break down what that looks like for so many teams and, well, why it's such a massive source of frustration and delay. Okay, so what does this maze actually look like in practice? Picture this. A developer's got their code ready to go. Awesome. Step one, they file a ticket for some infrastructure. And then they wait, and maybe a week goes by. Once they finally get the resources, it's this manual slog of configuration. And just when they think they're done, bam, it hits a security review, which is just another bottleneck. And after all that, maybe, just maybe, they can deploy. It's just slow and painful. So what's the fallout from all this? It's what you see here. Developer friction and just pure operational chaos. You end up with all these inconsistent environments, tons of manual work, and a whole lot of time just wasted. It slows everyone down, and ultimately, the business suffers for it. Now, you might think the answer is to just, tear everything down and start from scratch. But that's not it. This is really about building on what we've already learned. It's an evolution, not a revolution. Look, DevOps was absolutely revolutionary, right? It broke down those massive walls between development and operations. Well, platform engineering is the next logical step in that journey. It takes all that amazing work the ops team does, all that complex infrastructure setup, and wraps it up into a simple, self-service product for developers. The whole point is to reduce their cognitive load so they can focus on what they do best, writing great code, not configuring servers.
And this brings us to the solution to the maze, this idea of creating a paved path platform.
So what's the engine behind this paved path? It's something called an internal developer platform, or IDP for short. Just think of it like a one-stop shop for your developers. It's this central hub where they can go to get everything they need, tools, services, infrastructure, all on their own in a totally automated way. And this is the magic trick right here. This is the big idea. The IDP creates this golden paved path. It's not about restricting developers, no. It's about making the secure, efficient, company-approved way of doing things the easiest way. Because when the right way is also the path of least resistance, well, everybody wins. To really make this work, though, you have to adopt a whole new way of thinking. And it's captured in this quote, "Your platform is a product. Your developers are the customers." You've got to stop seeing infrastructure as just this thing that costs money and start treating it like a strategic product that you are building for your developers.
All right, so theory is great, but how do you actually build this thing? Let's get practical and look at some of the key AWS building blocks you'd use to create a platform like this.
First things first, you got to start with a solid foundation, right? You can't build a skyscraper on sand. In AWS, that means having a landing zone, which is basically a pre-configured secure environment for all your accounts and a shared VPC to handle your networking centrally. This gives you a stable, secure base to build everything else on top of. Okay, foundations poured. Now we need the engine room. For the platform, that engine is a set of standardized, reusable CI/CD pipeline templates. This makes sure that every single team builds and deploys their code in a consistent, automated, and totally reliable way. No more guesswork. So we've got the foundation, we've got the engine, but how do developers actually use it? What's the front door? Well, it's a self-service portal, and AWS Service Catalog is perfect for this. It works like an internal app store where your platform team can publish pre-approved templates, a standard database, a serverless function, and developers can launch them with just a few clicks. Okay, but what about the big one, security? Instead of security being this dreaded bottleneck at the very end of the line, it's baked in from the very beginning. Think of it like the guardrails on the highway. They're there to automatically keep developers within safe boundaries without ever slowing them down. And last but not least, you can't fix what you can't see, right? A really good platform provides observability, things like centralized logging, metrics, and tracing as a service that's just built in. This gives every team total, clear insight into how their applications are actually performing out in the real world. So you've done all this work, you've built the highway. What's the payoff?
What do you actually get out of it all? Well, it really comes down to three things: becoming faster, safer, and a whole lot clearer. A successful platform gives you three huge wins. Number one, faster delivery. Your developers are shipping code, not sitting around waiting for infrastructure. Two, safer changes. With all the automation and those built-in guardrails, there's way less room for human error. And three, better visibility. Suddenly, everyone gets a clear picture of the health and even the cost of their services.
So that's the journey. That's the transformation. You've taken your developers out of that frustrating, complicated maze and put them on a high-speed, well-lit superhighway straight to production. The destination's the same, but the journey is so much better. So the question I want to leave you with is a simple one. When you really look at your own development process, at how your teams work, are you building mazes or have you started paving the highways?